what I found out in life, as life goes on, life is about losing.
Once you've reached an incredible level of success, it's going to be extremely hard to keep that going. People are going to come at you and try to attack you and say that it's false and that you're making all this up and it's not true. And they'll bring up things saying that you made other things happen that weren't good. And what you need to do is just pay none of them any attention, because most of those people are just extremely jealous that you are successful and they weren't. They wish they had worked as hard as you did during those late nights and early mornings trying to get their life into successful path. They're just trying to bring you down because they couldn't make it.
I won titles, I had everything in the world, but I still had that darkness in me.
They weren't as driven or determined as you to get as far in life as you possibly could. You wanted to milk every single last drop out of your life as you could. You wanted to experience everything you possibly could in the time that you have on this earth. And you said, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to strive for the best and strive for excellence. And the people that are going to bring you down are the ones that didn't do that and just watched from the sideline as you accelerated through the ranks of life and became successful and became enjoyable to be around and loved. And they're just there miserable alone, regretting that they didn't try harder at the things that you did or at the things that they loved, and they just settled for second best all the time while you were out there pushing and striving to get the first best. No matter the situation, you were always hungry and you tried to satisfy that hunger every chance you got.
Not necessarily the size of the guy, you know what I mean? It's basically the spirit and the competitive in his heart. What is the word they say when you go to jail and you get? No, there's no such thing as rehabilitation. You get, prison is all debilitating. There's nothing rehabilitating about that, you know, because when you go in there, you never come out the same person again. You know, they give you these football numbers, they give you these massive times. I think if anybody do anything over 10 or 15 years, they shouldn't allow them to come back out, because then you got a real problem coming back out. You know, I'm just very grateful. I'm very grateful. I had a good life, and people liked me, and people gave me benefits and stuff. But that's not going to happen to the average guy. That's not going to happen. Know what's going to happen to him when he gets angry and he throws a tantrum like I throw my tantrum? They're going to come in the cell and they're going to beat him to death. You know, the goon squad's coming. They're going to beat him to death. That's what's going to happen. They're going to put you in the hole. They're going to put the holes on you. They're going to beat you to death. And we're living in 2015, and all this. This is something a nation of savages would look at as something that's a disgrace. As a human being, success is important to anybody, as it is important to you in your field, that you have a good interview or you've become acclaimed in your particular field, as I did in mine. And people in every field, everybody wants to be, I would say, noticed about their accomplishments and their hard works. And so, yeah, I think I enjoy that as well. I watched, it's an actor in America, and his name is Chaz Palminteri. And he's a great actor. And he did a movie called The Bronx Tale, but in this particular night, I watched him do the whole movie on stage, and he did it by himself. And the movie was extremely successful. I mean, really a blockbuster movie, but I believe he did better on stage by himself than he did in the movie. He totally captivated everyone there, and he, I don't know, 9,000 people, 8,000 people, he just captivated us, and you couldn't hear nothing but his voice. And I just thought that was an amazing feeling. I wanted to be able to do that. When I was in the detention home, you know, it's almost like, it's considered like the hole for the juvenile detention. It's like the hole, so I'm in the back room in the hole. But I see, through my window, I see people from the other side getting carried in on the other side. And they got like ribs are hurting, and they got the jaw, they got ice pack, but they're happy. So I said, what's going on over there? I'm thinking like, oh, we're having a war. We're having a gang fight over there. Yeah, let's war. But these guys are happy. No. They said, we're boxing with Mr. Stewart. What? And so I watched these guys, and I said, what? You see these guys getting beat up, hurt rib, bruised jaw, eye, and but they're happy that they went through this. So I said, well, I can go over there and beat this guy. He wasn't no big guy. I was a heavy-set guy. He was like 165, 70-pound white guy, slim. I could go slug him. You know, now that I'm wow, that's so crazy. Now that I'm experienced, I've never felt that feeling again. Now sometimes when I used to box, boom, he hit me, you feel that same feeling, but it goes away within seconds. But being a young kid, you don't know it's gonna go away within seconds. So within those 3 seconds, 4 seconds, you're trying to breathe. I didn't have no perspective of myself. I just looked at my idols, Jack Dempsey, all these guys, Kid Jocklet, and I watched what they did. I watched what they said. Sometimes I said things that are really crude. You know what I mean? That's ironic sometimes. But I said because my hero said. They said in 1902. So it probably was. By the time they got it to the press in America, they had 100 fights since then. But right now, they ain't with the way the world is. As soon as you say something, automatically it's around the world. So I would tell people that these guys are kids. I'm immortal. They can never beat me. How dare them challenge? And I would just say all these dreadful things. That's because I had a low self-esteem. I would always talk down about others. I'll kill you next time. It was just all because I was afraid of losing. Oh, absolutely. From custom model's perspective, I look at myself as nothing. I'm just pale, and I'm willing to do anything to myself to improve to be the best. I'm willing to sacrifice my body. I'm willing to sacrifice my psychological health to just be the best in the world. And that's what really sacrifice is. You really have to sacrifice your life, regardless if it's a marriage. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your life for a marriage or sacrifice your life for a goal you want to accomplish. And that's the goal the rule that I've always taken is to sacrifice and be objective.